Welcome back. Now we're going to be reading in a CSV into Python. To start with, we're going to need a CSV, so I've made a CSV with Google or Alphabet Company's stock price with these various fields. And this has 229 different dates. Then we're going to save that CSV in the same file that we have in the same folder that we have our Python script. So in this case, it's called Hello World, as you can see here. And the CSV is saved right next to it. And then we have our Hello World script here, obviously. Runs, says Hello World, works as anticipated. So without further ado, let's read that CSV into Python. So for this, we're going to need a module or package called pandas. To import that, we just type in import pandas, and let's use an alias, call it PD. You'll see why we do that here in a second. Next, to reference that module, we're going to do PD. That's why we're using the alias instead of the full pandas, or else you have to type out it every time. PD.read CSV. And then our CSV is called goog, so we'll put it in parentheses to use it as a string. .csv. Now this reads in the CSV into Python, but it will not really do anything and be lost from memory after we run it. So let's go ahead and assign this to a variable. We'll call it dat equals. This is assigning this data frame to this variable called dat. You can call this whatever you want. You can call it flowers if you so choose, but I just like to use dat for this tutorial. Next, we want to see the outcome of that CSV, so we will go ahead and print dat. And you can just explicitly print it like that. Now when we try to run this, let's save it first with Control S, or you can go to File, Save. Now when we try to run this, we're probably not going to get exactly what we're anticipating, and I'll show you why here in a second. So let's hit this play button up here. And if you notice, we get an error called module not found error. So to fix this, we do in our terminal or command prompt, we type in pip3. It's the installer for Python. And then the 3 denotes that we're using Python 3. Install pandas. If you'll notice, it's checking to make sure it has all the required packages it depends on, and it will start downloading pandas. It does take a second because it is a fairly decent sized module. So if you notice, we're done there. Now we're expecting this to read in. I'll show you why it might not work, but let's try it first. So let's go ahead and save it. I don't think we changed anything, but then we'll press play. And if you notice, we're getting an error. That's kind of strange because we seem to have everything in order. The CSV is the correct name. We're importing the correct packages and printing. So another issue that you might run into is your working directory. So for this, if you notice down here, this is your working directory that we're currently in. It's users/atom. So, but our file is saved in users atom documents Python. So we're going to need to change this. So let's just do cd and then start typing d for documents, doc, and hit tab. It'll autofill it in. We'll do Python up here, hit tab, and then we'll hit enter. If you notice, it changes our string down here, and this should run as anticipated. So let's go ahead and press play. And if you notice, we successfully read in our CSV. So you'll notice it truncates the lines. That's just to try to keep it in a nice compact view for you. And they have our date column open. Let me pull it back over here so you can see it and compare. We have date 12/1, 12/1, open 3/17, high 3/19, and volume. Everything looks good to go. So, and if you notice that these line numbers in Excel or your CSV do not match the line numbers over here. That's because Python is a zero-based program, meaning the first entry will always be 0 for the most part. That's how you successfully read in a CSV into Python. Thank you.